We have here is 2 billion, and here is 3 billion, right? So basically we started from 2 billion, which is like it was from 2015. And then after that, we reached to 2024 and the people were like 3 billion people. So we have a high number of gamers right now in the world, right? I think you all know Fortnite, am I right? So if not, it's a social gaming, all right? 151 million people are actually like active users in the Fortnite. And then we have Roblox, we have Minecraft, where like there's coming 203 million people that they're actually like, they're active gamers on that. And also 172 million people, they're active users on the Minecraft. I want to tell you this, that the social gaming hub also is being increased, which means that like once you're playing a Fortnite, you're actually playing and also interacting with people. So this is also a new world for me. This is my favorite part, all right? So I will talk about the main one, which one you guys know it. 2004, there was Facebook invented, right? So Facebook came at that time. And then 2005, YouTube came at that time. So then we moved, and then 2010, Instagram was invented. And Twitch on 2011, and then we moved forward up to the TikTok 2016. When TikTok was there, and then after that, we have like a thread, like other applications, but there was not a sound until TikTok. So once TikTok came, and TikTok was there, and people knew about TikTok, one critical thing was actually introduced, which is AI algorithm. So 2016, TikTok was an application where like you put your video and suddenly you will be having 1 million of views, thousands of views, where like right now also Instagram Reels are using it. And then there's one point where like I want to add to it to connect to what we are talking about right now. YouTube. 2005, all right? It was a niche people who knew about this. Like a bunch of people that they had access to the camera, big cameras, they could have actually use YouTube. The future, the headsets and all the headsets right now, there is also very niche people of it, they have it. Not everybody is affording to have that, and also there is there's no FOMO about it at the moment. But now YouTube is paying people for monetization and everything. So which means that there will be a time that people will actually adapt to the headsets and everything else. The most popular social networks is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp is American, right? So then we have TikTok and WeChat, which is Chinese. So the rest of also is Facebook Messenger, Telegram, which is UAE based. The founder is from Russia, but like it's UAE based. They have a head office here and everything, like it's like they call themselves UAE based. And then we have other platforms where like, I don't know them, it's like Chinese. We have two different worlds, East and West, right? The internet evolution. So at the beginning, it was text, then it was image, then we went to audio, video. Right now is the peak of the videos. So as you can see that once you're just up, the high amount of videos have been taken and being uploaded. We are moving from age of information, which was Web 2, to age of intelligence, which is Web 3. So thank you so much for listening to me, and I will pass the space to Farzad so he can be talking about Web 3.
Thank you, Mr. Amir. First of all, sorry for my English because I can't speak like them, very fluent. First, we can watch a video about Web3 from Harvard.
So far, the web has gone through two major stages. Web 1.0, which you may remember from the 90s, was largely a read-only medium. That is, it was a decentralized collection of static web pages you could read, but you couldn't easily add your own voice. Web 2.0 changed things up in the early 2000s, taking the internet from read-only to read-write. Now you could post to your own blog, leave comments, or more recently,
Actually, we believe when AI, AR, VR, 3D internet hits maturity, the blockchain applications actually work and real Web3 happen. You heard about AI, artificial intelligence or machine learning, but AI revolution is really similar to industrial revolution when new factory jobs invented, new and urbanization. Also, in AI revolution, new tech jobs comes and robotic. LLM, large language models, Gemini from Google, Copilot from Microsoft, GPT-4o from OpenAI, Claude 3.5 from Sonnet. These are the best, but all of them are closed source. We believe eventually all AIs will be open source. It means that we can build AI for ourselves. Like Llama from Meta. Llama 3.5 is one of the best open source. It means it's free. The model is free. We can build AI image generator, AI music generator with a free and capable AI model. Text to image. Most important thing about large language models is language barrier. They remove the language barrier. We can talk with computers. This is Midjourney, a closed source model. From 2022 to 2024, Midjourney hits maturity. Stable Diffusion is the open source one. Text to speech also hit the maturity. It means that you can create speech from text with 11 labs. Artlist, these are the best ones. Text to music, it also hits the maturity. And Udio, Suno, they are open source. We can create music. Text to video, 2024 is the year of text to video. And we believe that in the future, in 2024, text to video also hits the maturity. We can see Runway is the best model, but it's closed source. It means you have to pay for the model, also processing power. Also, Sora from OpenAI will came. Luma Dream Machine is another model that can create very beautiful animations. Synthesia, the website can create avatars. You can build avatar for your brand that it's all generated. It can represent your brand. It can talk with your customers. 2025 is the year of text to 3D and text to simulation. It means that when you put the headset on, you can create environment, you can build your own world or everything you want, interactive world, digital twins, immersive experiences. You can see this video from NVIDIA and Omniverse with OpenUSD.
Build me a table in an empty room, surrounded by chairs, in a busy restaurant. Build me a table with tacos.
The most interesting part is they use child, a girl. That means that anyone can create world in the future. And also they use virtual production, very similar to virtual headsets. In the future, if we have digital jobs, AI agents do it better than us. If we have physical jobs, robots, human-like robots can do it better. And this means that it's like industrial revolution. We can do something more valuable, something more artistic. It's about society and culture. The future of internet. All of us limited to black mirrors, 2D actually mobile phones, 2D screens. But the future of internet will be 3D. Smart glasses act like a smartwatch. It's very light and built-in camera in it, and you can talk with AI. It can help you to do everything in the real world. Also, it removes the language barrier. It's like a subtitle for the world. But AR, VR means virtual reality, fully immersive. Augmented reality is a digital layer for the physical world. Combine it together, it's mixed reality. Mixed reality, the best one is Apple Vision Pro. It's heavy, expensive, but high quality. That one, Meta Quest 3 from Meta, from Facebook, it's lightweight, cheap, but low quality. Samsung and Google this year introduced another one. These headsets act like PC or laptop. This word and this actually headsets, it's about interaction, it's about animation, 3D simulations. But to the internet, it's about video, 360 or 180 degree videos. It's very fun, and we have it also here. They are 8K, 16K cameras. You can immerse yourself in video. You heard about metaverse, but this word is related to vision of Meta and Zuckerberg. They has Meta Horizon OS, the operating system. Apple calls it special computing with Vision OS, the operating system. But NVIDIA is like 3D websites. It's the main one. It's compatible with all headsets. Omniverse, it's a data center that you can use physics, material, AI, and USD, OpenUSD is Universal Scene Description. That means it's very similar to 2D internet HTML. This is the difference between AR, VR, and MR glasses. The main and most important thing in these topics actually processing power. We believe that in the future all AI models will be free, but processing power is not. And when you put the headset, it's very heavy because of the all processors there. You can use cloud rendering, real-time rendering. Also, when you use, for example, Midjourney, you need processing power, but this is the cloud processing power. You buy, for example, $10, you can build 20 or 200 images because of the amount of processing power that you can use. So GPU is the very important thing in the future. Also, it's unstoppable, like internet adoption, like social media adoption. It's going up using virtual reality headsets. Elon Musk worked hard on Starlink, actually, for I think a decade. And 2025, they are releasing it to the world, and we believe it's one of the most infrastructure for these worlds.
Okay, so I'm back with the blockchain part. We talked about all this AR, VR. You know, I guess some of you have watched Ready Player #1, the movie, right? So we have seen all of these movies that show that, yeah, one day we will all live in this virtual reality that doesn't exist, but that is our real priority in life. And if you watch those type of movies, You might say that, oh, this never happens. You might say that, oh, it might happen, but we will not see it. And I was thinking that, yeah, this may happen, but we will not see it probably, that people go and actually live in that virtual reality. But the first day that I actually used Apple Vision Pro, Farzad showed me, I was like, I really didn't expect this much quality. I was like, I'm gonna stay here. Like, I literally feel like I have traveled somewhere else. You can literally experience the quality. It's not something like 3D that doesn't have that quality. It's actually believable. So I think it's not really that far that we reach to that point that, okay, we can actually have some parts of our lives in the virtual reality. But there is a really, really scary part to it. Now, we only use Web 2 and the traditional form of web. We search on Google and we open our Instagram and we see an ad of what we searched in Google, or we see it on YouTube, or we even sometimes sometimes you mention it to somebody and you just open your Instagram and there is an ad and you're like, so isn't this scary? Like, I think this is concerning. If we are going to have so much of our lives depending on social media, virtual realities, and our data is being gathered. Our data is being gathered by the tech giants, and that's literally scary. So I think the more we go forward, the more we reach to that virtual reality, being a part of our real world. We go there, we live there, we care about it, we pay for it. So the things we have in that virtual reality are our assets. If we don't own them and somebody else owns them, then somebody else owns our lives. And that needs to be changed at some point. So now we reach to the ownership, and that's why I want to tell you about blockchain and how blockchain is decentralizing the ownership and giving the ownership back to the users, not to the server owners. There are so many arguments with what I'm saying. You might have heard some parts of it that no, blockchain also is not still 100% decentralized, which is not wrong, but is going towards being more and more decentralized. Ownership of money. I think ownership of money is one of the easiest things we can understand. Imagine that I have an X amount of money, Farzad has an X amount, I send Farzad some money, he sends me some money back, and all of these interactions, all of these transactions, we write it on a piece of paper. I just write, I gave Farzad $2, he gave me back $1, Farzad gave another person $4, and let's say that this paper is the proof of our ownership. If I want to know how much money I have to look at this and see how much money is remaining based on the first amount I was owning and the transactions. Then what will happen? I give this paper to Farzad. This is the system we have nowadays. We have our banking systems and bank applications. You see a number there, and there is a server that is holding the information. Farzad can easily take that picture, take that paper, remove a part that says his ownership and write another number, write $1 billion. Nobody can say you cannot change it because that one page is the proof. Blockchain says, I will make lots of copies of this picture. Every time a change happens, I will give it to as many people as I can. Farzad can change his own paper, but he cannot change others' papers. And every time we want to see how much each person has, we gather the opinion of everyone, and then we see what the majority say. So this way, Farzad cannot manipulate the information unless he gets the ownership of 51% of these papers. So this is what blockchain is trying to do. And then, even for the information that they are putting on that paper, they bring encryptions, different sorts of encryptions that even if Farzad takes the ownership of 51%, still he has to open an encryption in order to access that information. And then there are lots of copies of this database, in fact, that different people hold. Okay, you might say that now, me and Farzad, we can just create a chain and say that, okay, we have the copies and this is decentralized, but it's not decentralized. The point is that you have the right, you have the ability to be one of these copy holders. You can be a node. anyone can be a holder of this copy. So this is how the information will be decentralized and not kept by any government, not kept by any server. First, common examples of blockchain were cryptocurrencies. You have all heard about Bitcoin and probably about Ethereum. Why? It's not like Bitcoin invented blockchain. Blockchain was a technology. Blockchain and distributed ledger was a technology before Bitcoin. And also Bitcoin was not the first digital currency. There were many people that tried to make digital currencies. Why do we need paper currency? Let's have digital ones. But Bitcoin was the first currency that combined these together, made a currency that is, first of all, not physical, it's digital, and also is using blockchain technology to make the ownership distributed so that we don't need to trust a third party and everything can be kind of agreed on through the community itself. And and also just to tell you what is the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, I have to tell you that Bitcoin now is some sort of a store of value. The main use case of it was to move money between different people. And then Ethereum was built to say that you don't need to only use this blockchain for just sending money. You can even use it for running applications and for running different codes. And then smart contracts were invented. We don't want to go through all the details. But the point is that Ethereum, for the first time, kind of changed the game. And Farzad gave me a good example. Bitcoin was some sort of digital gold, a store of value, a money, a currency to be moved. And then Ethereum was somehow like digital oil. Like it was giving so many use cases. The oil later was used to make acids, was later used to make different products. So Ethereum gave more room for developments on top of blockchain and let people to develop their applications on top of this blockchain. And then you can now open CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap is the global, I can say, website and source for you to see all of the cryptocurrencies that exist, not all of them, but the majority of them. And you can see how many currencies now are made, are being used. Not all of them are decentralized, not all of them are legit. But after Bitcoin, all this mentality is spread out. People started making communities and then bringing a currency, making a currency for their own that they value, and they will make the demand for it. So one important point here is what is the difference between coins and tokens? Because now you might say that, okay, you said that you can have Bitcoin and the money on top of blockchain. But now you're saying that you can have an asset on blockchain as well. And so do we need many different blockchains and then lots of people have to run all of these nodes? No, it's not like that. You, like for each chain, there is one specific token, in fact, that is the native token of that chain, meaning that for using that chain, for the transactions on top of that chain, and for the utilities of using that infrastructure, you have to use that native token, that one token. And that one token is called the coin. And then there are other assets and other currencies built on top of same chains, but using the same infrastructure, and we call them tokens. For example, now I was telling you about this database that each of us are having one copy of it. That one specific money that we are talking about, and it's that infrastructure is built for it, is the coin. But other people can use the same infrastructure, same distribution of nodes, and create other assets, but use the same method of database and say that, okay, we talked about this currency. Also, please write that I have one, for example, one box on this virtual reality that I'm seeing, and add to this database that already is distributed between people. So in that case, we call it tokens. And there are many different terms. We don't want to go so deep. There are stable coins, which are some sort of a bridge between the real world and the blockchain world, meaning that they are not necessarily always like that, but majority of them are tokens that are pegged to a real world currency or a real world asset. Sometimes they are pegged to virtual assets as well, but the majority of them are somehow a bridge that, for example, you have $10, you can give $10 and in return you get 10 USDT. USDT is a stable coin that is pegged by dollar. So they kind of make a bridge for you to convert your existing money to the money on chain. And then we have DeFi, which is decentralized finance using the same infrastructure of developments that is decentralized for financial tools like lending and borrowing protocols, which is one of the most common use cases of it, NFTs. These tokens were money, like we were talking about fungible tokens, right? We were talking about things that are like dollars. But NFTs are, in fact, tokens that are non-fungible. Each of them is unique. There are so many standards of it. Some of them have collections, some of them can be alone. That is a long story. But NFTs can be assets. These assets can be files, can be pictures, can be videos, can be different sorts of files to be stored with the same structure of distributed database. So NFTs now give us this idea that, okay, so on that virtual reality we're talking about, we can actually own stuff that we have. We can have assets and we can own it for ourselves. Then we have ICOs, IEOs, many different crowdfunding methods on chain. When I say on chain, I mean on that distributed blockchain that we built together. And then there are different ways for fundraising. It says in the first idea behind ICOs was that we don't need to go to investors, we don't need to go to government to give us money for creating a new project. We can just ask our community to gather some resources and build something. So the main idea behind ICO was crowdfunding in an on-chain and decentralized and anonymous way. And then we have DAOs, which are some sort of imagine groups in the companies that sit together, decide about what to do with their companies. So those are in fact applications on chain for deciding about what we built in all that distributed infrastructure. We built an application and now let's decide what to do. And then there are voting systems in it and people who are a part of it can decide for the future of it. Okay, and now we want to go a bit more towards the NFTs. NFTs have been really misused. Like, I don't know, how many of you have heard about NFTs? Okay, good. I mean, in the beginning I asked you about the blockchain and now I feel like if more people raise their hands when I asked about NFTs because it was a hot topic, but it was widely misunderstood because first of all, we are talking about ownership. What is ownership? Ownership is that you prove that something is yours. And still there is not much regulation to prove that if this paper says this is yours, it's actually yours. So people were like, oh, NFTs are just pictures of some monkeys that I own on some distributed infrastructure. Like, why would I want to have that picture? But the thing is that NFTs can have many different use cases. We can store different assets, different items on top of that blockchain, that distributed database for many different use cases. For example, they can be art and collectibles, such as the Bored Apes. One thing about Bored Ape that many people, like that person that I was talking about, that says, well, why would I have these monkeys? Like, why would I have a picture of a monkey that is worth a fortune? Like, why would I buy that? It's not about that asset, it's about the community. Now people that have Bored Ape NFTs, they have communities that they use those NFTs for many different things. It can be art and collectibles, it can be in-game items. Now, as I said, we can create applications on that distributed infrastructure. And in those games, for example, in that game that I told you, we go in the VR and you see that you play a game, you have assets, of course, you have your home. It's like, for example, let's say Minecraft or Fortnite, you have the skins, you have, I don't know, weapons, different stuff, and you can actually own them through these NFTs. And then it can be used for creating the virtual worlds, as I said. It can be used as event tickets, for example, that you should have this specific NFT in order to show that you have the permission to use some facilities. And also it can be used for certifications and different sorts of proofs, credentials for you to prove that you have something. For example, now real world assets are so trendy that you can, for example, have NFTs that show the ownership of a real world asset, and you can prove it through saying that, see, I have this in my wallet, so this is mine, and it can be used for these certificates as well. But all of that said, we are so early. And if you see the market size of blockchain industry and many different industries, you see that it's nothing. Like 1.2 trillion market size is literally nothing compared to stock market, compared to the bond market, compared to real estate market. Anything that comes with the ownership have much bigger market, and we are still super early. You might think that, oh, Bitcoin, like we had to be early, we had to do something in 2010, but no, we are still super early, and the market is still pretty small. Then we come to the differences of Web 2, which is the web that we are using, and Web 3, which is the web where everything is built decentralized, so the users own their data. So the users don't need to give their data to a centralized server, a centralized owner. And many different differences. Obviously, the main difference is regarding the ownership. And this one uses the decentralized technology. You can read, write, and own your information. On Web 2, you can only read and write. You don't own the information. And in Web 2, you are the product. Your information is being sold. Your information. Why does YouTube give people give money to the content creators? Because you watch it and you are the product, in fact, which is being sold and bought. But in Web 3, you are the owner, and you will decide how to use your information. So as you can see, in Web 2, all of us are known with our emails. When we want to log in something, we use our emails. Our email is our identity in most of the cases. But in Web 3, your wallet is your identity. You have different wallets. You can create as many wallets as you want. You don't need to put an email. You don't need to put your names. And you can create a wallet. You can have an identity on chain. And then you know what to own, and how to spend. Now we go past this part. Okay, till now, all of the things I'm saying feels like a rebel, and like we don't want anyone to have our information. Like, it feels a bit against the government, against the mass adoption, and against the biggest financial markets in the world. And this was the case in the beginning. But what happened? The demand from different people reached to the point that all of those institutional investors, the governments, and especially biggest funds realize that, see, something is happening, a demand is here, this market is hot, we need to also join, we need to also gain some profit from it. And I don't know how many of you have been in financial markets. If you are working in a fund, you are working in a, let's say, hedge fund, for example, you have some limitations based on the country that you are based and you are regulated. You have some limitations. You cannot trade and you cannot invest in anything. There are specific types of assets you can invest in. So many of these funds didn't have the permission to trade cryptocurrencies because the government was not accepting it as an official market. So then ETF is exactly what is built to solve this problem. ETFs are exchange-traded funds. It means that I will make a basket, I will put 10 apples in it, and then you can buy a ticket from this basket. If I sell 10 tickets, it means that you in fact have one apple from this basket, but you are not having the apple in your hand, you're having the ticket. So ETF is in fact that, like you own it, but you don't own it. So you buy a share of that basket. And that was the solution for these funds. Wanted to join crypto, but they didn't have the governmental permission. So ETF was issued, and ETF was confirmed by SEC. the Bitcoin ETF was confirmed, and you probably saw that it made a huge noise, and this shows that the institutional investors, the governments, are starting to accept it. Many of the governments are investing in Bitcoin because they see that the demand is there, so wherever the demand is, the value is. And then after Bitcoin, which we said is the digital gold, there was a big debate. Some people were saying that ETF would not be accepted for Ethereum because Ethereum is a different vibe, really. It's about developing decentralized applications. And some people were saying that no, it can be accepted. It got accepted. What does it mean? It doesn't mean that it will explode. It doesn't mean that the price will go much higher. One of the reasons many of you probably have been hesitating to enter this market is that they are pretty volatile. Like, you see so many people that invest and it just goes up and down. They make lots of money at one night, they lose lots of money the other night. Why is this volatility? Because there is not much trading volume. Not so many people have it, so the small actions can change a lot. But the more volume and the more investment comes to this market will be more stable. It will be more like gold, it will be more like silver, and many different hugely accepted, mass accepted assets. So these type of news make cryptocurrencies and their market to be less volatile and more stable, and give us more room for actually exploring it and not use it for investment. Use it for creating technologies that are decentralized. And now we are not talking about these digital assets. We are mainly talking about using this infrastructure, this decentralized infrastructure, for building applications that will one day change our life with AI, AR, and VR. And I think I already mentioned this. So,
Thank you very much. The main problem is the institution compete with individuals, but individuals compete with other individuals. We can't compete with institutions. But in Web3 ecosystems, with our communities, we can compete with institutions. And that means that the centralized systems owns more than 90% of global wealth. But this has to be changed with the Web3 ecosystems. And AI helps us. Actually, AI disrupt the capitalism, because we have a power right now. We have power to create, to build anything on digital. But we need to accept to have digital ownership also, because this digital ownership is very similar to our followers back into 10 years ago. 10 years ago, if we have followers, nobody cares. But after sometimes when these Web2 social medias creators comes, these people come to social medias, our followers can be monetized. Also, when we have digital ownerships like right now, when we have assets right now, in the future when people comes to Web3 ecosystems, we have actually like some followers and we can do it a lot of things and make money from it. All Web3 ecosystems, it's like countries. All countries have economies. These economies in Web3 ecosystems named tokenomics. This one is centralized tokenomics. This one is decentralized tokenomics.
let me just say that what is tokenomics? Token economy. So that token that is in your infrastructure, how is it actually planned? Like, who has what? This is the description of tokenomics.
Thank you. Centralized ecosystems like Telegram one, like Base, Coinbase ecosystem. These are the new ones. These are comes with creators, comes with lot of applications on web. These are used this one because they are centralized ecosystems. They use teams, sales, foundations, and give and build community with airdrops. Like give money to people to gather. But in decentralized one, people gather and make demand, and people gather and make utility. And this one is also like a spectrum, not like this or this, like a spectrum. And we believe that the تعادل,
Balance.
the balance. And we have the Embrace community also has a tokenomic, and we believe in the future we can be a community in all over the world. Thank you very much.